and welcome to the hills of Bedrock, above the village of Newton Moor. As often as I possibly can, I come up here. It's only a few minutes walk from my house, and in doing so I can reconnect with what I like to call the green world, the natural world, something that has become more and more important to me the older I become. So why are these green places so important to me? Well, a number of years ago, an American forester by the name of Aldo Leopold wrote these words. He said, if we treat land as a commodity, we tend to abuse it. But if we treat it as a community to which we also belong, we tend to look after it with love and affection. And I come up here to remind myself of that community and the fact that I'm a member of that community. I'm a member of several communities. I'm a member of my family community, very important to me. I'm a member of the village community where I live. I like to think I'm a member of the kind of Scottish hill-going community. But I'm also a member of this community of the green world, this green world that's made up of rock and air and mountains and hills and forests and oceans and seas. All these things that kind of mingle together make up this great fabric of creation that we belong to. And I think it's true to say, and I think we're beginning to realise that now, everything is connected. And if we disturb a tiny part of that web of creation, it has an effect somewhere else. There's another famous poet whose name evades me at the moment, who said, if we pick a wild flower, we'll disturb a star. So I come to these places to remind me of that. These places that make me feel insignificant, these places that make me feel that in the great scheme of things, I'm not really all that important. These places that remind me that we have to look after the rock and the earth and the seas and the woods and the forests and these places, because it's part of our community. I don't know about you, but I've got to the stage now where I get up in the morning and I don't want to put the radio on. I don't want to start the day with all that bad news. You can take the big issues like climate change and loss of biodiversity and wars and blooming politics. That's one of the reasons I want to come up here, because I want to escape from all of that for a while and come back into what is another world. I get very concerned, not so much for myself, but for the sort of world that my granddaughters are going to grow up in. And I find it very frustrating that there's not very much I can do about it. But I do find that when I come to these places here, there's something that I find very peaceful, something I find very therapeutic. I think it's largely because I'm in a place where man's hand is not terribly evident. You know, these things up here are the same as they've been since the creation of time. I've been coming up this little hill here for over 40 years, and in that time it's not changed very much. some of the plantations down below have got bigger, the trees have grown. But apart from that, there's very, very little change, and I like that. That gives me a kind of sense of satisfaction. It gives me a sense of hope that some things are unchanging, no matter what the political scene is, no matter whether you're a left winger or a right winger, or a Catholic or a Protestant or a Hindu or a Jew or a Muslim or whatever. It doesn't matter up here, because you're just part of this community. And I hope that I just hope that I'm going to be, fit enough and strong enough to maybe not last another 40 years. I think that's doubtful, but certainly into my dotage, I want to come to places like this. And if you can't get up hills like this anymore, then there are alternatives. And I think it's really all about how we adapt to age.